Oh, I didn't know you guys were going to have these things. I brought my paper, my speech. So, hi, where's Mark? Where are, how are you? All right, let me begin. Mark Ruffalo is known as an everyman actor. Audiences identify with his performances because his characters are like us, ordinary, humble, benign. In his face, we see intelligence, checked by life choices, opportunity, and experience. In his characters, we recognize our brothers, fathers, friends, colleagues, partners, and ourselves. When I met Mark, he became known to me like an older brother. He was warm, approachable, relatable, and very protective. He would share stories of his younger days in acting school with Benicio del Toro, how he felt he had no play with the ladies whenever Benny was around because of his full head of hair and his Puerto Rican accent, and how his life changed for the better when he met his wife, Sunrise. I met Mark at a very interesting time in my life, a transitional time, and Mark proved to be insightful for the period of time we worked together. At any given moment, he would share advice and knowledge. Like when I introduced him to my Italian boyfriend, the following day on set, he tells me, I like him a lot and you're gonna marry him. I can tell by the way he speaks to you and tries to calm you. I also heard you guys fighting and doing you know what the whole night. Of course he heard us. Where we were staying was this old New England house with super thin walls. I was living on the second floor of the house and Mark had the third floor apartment directly over mine. We would talk through the walls, be each other's alarm clock on the days we worked together. He would yell through the walls and ask if I wanted breakfast when he was making an omelet. One day we were locked out of the house and had to climb through the fire escape with our groceries. Do you remember that? That was so funny. At first, I was embarrassed that he would hear everything. But soon it became the most comforting feeling that Mark was right upstairs, aware that I was there. I felt safe and quite happy to know that he was there. I did end up marrying that Italian boyfriend because Mark said I would. Like the friend and older brother he was to me, these everymen that Mark is and he creates, however, are not uncomplicated. In the challenging roles that he chooses to play, Mark introduces us to individuals forced into difficult conversations, confronting a crisis, managing mental health, navigating social change, and seeking social justice. His film career is inviolable. He is one of the most accomplished screen actors working today, and no stranger to the rom-com. And yet, he is also committing to making movies that mirror his personal commitment to social issues. We have seen him as an early AIDS activist in The Normal Heart, as a Marine assigned to protect Navajo soldiers in Windtucker, as a doctor confronting pandemic chaos and a breakdown of the social order in Blindness, as the sperm donor for a lesbian couple in The Kids Are All Right, as a journalist uncovering the Catholic Church sex abuse scandal in Spotlight, as an attorney tackling corporate chemical giant in Dark Waters. I had the honor of appearing with Mark in Infinitely Polar Bear, in which Mark delivered a sensitive and courageous portrait of a father navigating parenting and his own bipolar condition. It was difficult to say sometimes where Mark ended and his character of Cameron Forbes began. Mark is a gentle but fierce actor at all times. He was so committed to bringing the story of Maya and China Forbes' father to life. It didn't matter if he was in character at all times. He did it with so much love and care and ease. He brought that same sensitivity to his portrayal of paranoid schizophrenia in I Know This Much Is True. And yes, he even brings humanity to Bruce Banner, also known as the Hulk, a scientist with superhuman anger management skills. But it's not all about the movies, because Mark is a distinguished artist who uses his fame to champion important causes and to speak out on important issues of our day. Mark doesn't simply have one pet project. Mark has a lifeboat with seats for everyone. It's an extraordinary thing, this gregarious energy he brings to compassion and empathy. He is particularly attracted to opportunities to share the spotlight of his public profile with people and causes that are institutionally marginalized and disenfranchised, those without a voice. Other movie stars might shy away from the public, but Mark is humbled by the access that celebrity can bring and drawn to talk with the people who are eager to share their homes, their lifestyles, their stories, their problems. And he does so despite the considerable risk of criticism and backlash. Even with his detractors, Mark is inclined to meet the conversation and forge a dialogue. It is an acting thing. You don't just talk, you listen. That's Mark. He's our everyman advocate and a real-life superhero. Mark said that social justice is the basis of all democracy. In that spirit, in recent years, he has become a prominent environmental activist, lending his voice to the support of Water Defense, a group dedicated to anti-fracking and clean water initiatives. He is a co-founder of the Solutions Project, an inspired effort to foster environmental programs at the grassroots level in communities of color that are more likely to be located near chemical plants, fracking, and dirty water, and therefore more likely to suffer the health consequences of climate change. Yes, I did say that correctly, sorry. The Solutions Project brings support directly to those local advocates making the immediate efforts, and it doesn't stop there. Hold on, let me get my breath. Jesus, you just keep going. Mark is also involved in voting rights, healthcare reform, the fundamental right to education, and a longtime supporter of LGBTQ rights. He's tireless. Name a cause, and don't be surprised that Mark is ready to lend his support and his platform. Mark, I will follow your advice, eat your food, and stay in a place with thin walls next to you any day, as long as sunrise comes with you. For all these reasons, the ACLU of Southern California has selected Mark Ruffalo for the 2024 Bill of Rights Award. Please welcome my friend, Mark Ruffalo.
Thank you, sweet. Thank you, Zoe. You're amazing. That all happened. And thank you, ACLU of Southern California, for all you do, and frankly, what you will be doing in 2 weeks and months and years ahead. We got our asses kicked. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But sometimes you have to spend a little time in bed before it happens. It was hard to come here, honestly. So we need the ACLU of Southern California for your skills and among many other things to protect us in this country. Now, suffice to say, it's overwhelming and humbling to receive this special honor. I'm really heartened to stand with the company of tonight's honorees. We've heard such great stories and seen such beautiful tributes to everybody. And I'm also grateful to be here in attendance with all of you guys. The fact that we're here says a great deal about what we all care about in this life. And I want to appreciate you all for your values and the grief and the fear that you most acutely may be feeling as well. Because I know I am. We suffered a great loss. It's a loss that touches deeply on so much of what we've worked for and we've hoped for and dreamed of for such a long time now. So I want to do something a little unorthodox, a little like, a participatory kind of thing. So I want everyone to stand up, those of you who can. Come on up. Now I want you to turn to the person that is next to you and give them a hug. Even this couple fighting here. And tell each other you love each other. It's going to be okay. We're going to be okay. All right, now sit down.
We're going to be okay.
We're going to be okay. Love you. I love you. I love you. As I reflect on that was so great. Oh, that made me so happy. All right, as I reflect on the ACLU and its mission, I find myself aligned with so many issues: voting rights, immigrant rights, housing rights, reproductive rights, LGBTQ plus rights, and certainly criminal justice. And all of these are intersectional with social justice. Adding climate justice to that, which is where I spend a lot of my time. You know, I'm standing amongst the most courageous, clear-eyed people. We are all here together, and we're saying to each other, okay, what can we do now? Look around you and see who you're with. That's what I have to say about this time. We've all been together. We know how to take care of each other. And we can relax in this moment and the reality of that. Let that give you some comfort in these days that come. We're not new to this. We know what we need to do, and we are the ones to do it. We know how to do it. We've already been doing it. And now we just commit more deeply to each other and be open to those new people who are coming to join us. What we learned from COVID was the importance of our relationships. I heard it over and over and over again. That was the gift of that difficult time. Now, personally, I'm no stranger to calamity. None of us are. But what I've learned from it is that there's always a gift. There's always a gift in it somewhere. And that is the gift of our deepened sense of humanity and connection. That is the essence of compassion. The ability to relate to someone else's suffering through our own. Compassion is in short supply right now. Snappy insults, snark, quick comebacks, cynicism, and growing despair is dominant in our society and our conversations. There's a whole media market that's sprung up and a politic for that kind of energy, and it's pretty frightening to so many people here, including myself. But I honestly am also regrettably guilty of it. We have a choice now to either jump at the self-harming delight of snark or the nourishing dignity of compassion. Now is the time to resist further isolation, to keep our own light, see the light around us, and find each other even in the most unlikely, unwanted circumstances. That is the bigger ask tonight. One of the great privileges of acting is to be invited into so many different people's personal lives, so readily and open. Now, as an actor, it's our job to understand the people we play. And that lands us in the most unlikely places. I mean, we're invited into people's homes that we don't know, offices, churches, bars, family gatherings, where the people from all walks of life, no matter who they are, where they come from, what their politics are, what they believe, what they hate, what they like, they're never guarded. And they open themselves up to us. And what I've learned is that people want their stories told. That's why they do that. They want their stories told. They want to be heard. They want to hear the stories of other people, even and especially those who are different from themselves. Much like the spectrum of ACLU Southern California clients and honorees we are here with tonight. They're very honest and vulnerable with us because they want their truth to be honored. They want to be seen as the same people and as worthy of the same things as everyone else. It's as simple as that with this kind of work. People want shared equanimity. Gloria Walton, the president and the CEO of the Solutions Projects, which I am a humble co-founder 10 years ago, she introduced me to the African concept of Ubuntu. I am because we are. Our well-being is interconnected. I found this concept to resonate because I was raised in a Christian and Baha'i and Catholic household to believe that a noble life means taking care of each other, lifting people, turning the other cheek, administering to the poor, the forlorn, and the forgotten, to do unto others what we would have done unto ourselves. And the Baha'i faith, which my father was a Baha'i, eschews politics completely for community service and the commitment to the welfare of one's community. Now, the best that we can do is measured by the best that we can do for our community. I'm fortunate that my career comes with a certain spotlight, right? Which has naturally led me to extend that spotlight back to the communities that carry my activism, to carry my activism and advocacy and put it into my art form and vice versa. That is the challenging and difficult part to do, but the good thing to do. And sometimes it happens by chance. The kids are all right. It tells a story of two lesbian moms meeting and the kids meeting their sperm donor dad. Now, the humanizing nature of that storytelling had a profound impact on the national conversation, the cultural, social, and political conversation about same-sex marriage and parenting. And that was 5 years before the Supreme Court decision in Obergel and the recent passage of Proposition 3. And other times, the activism is intentional. Dark Waters is a movie we developed very carefully as a calculated opportunity to tell the story of Rob Bilot's effort to expose the DuPont Corporation for contaminating all of us, the entire world, with forever chemicals. And that story had to be told in a movie. And we had to have these victims' stories heard so that enough of the public understood what had happened, so that the lawmakers would be able to hear what they were saying and the laws could be finally changed. And we did that in solidarity with each other using storytelling. And it transcended politics. It made us all question what was in our water and care for each other's water. Lakota Nation versus the United States. It redefines and corrects the theft of so much land and the lives of so many Lakota people at the hands of the United States, told by the Lakota filmmakers, poets, and historians. That's another part of this story, is letting the people who have suffered tell their own part of their story. Sharing what we have in Hollywood of storytelling with the people who have suffered, told from their voices. And after we made that, the version of the Hulk, this version of the Hulk, there's some great versions of the Hulk. I'm just one of many. It'll be like my generation's Hamlet. We're all going to be able to play it. But people with mental illnesses were starting to come, multiple personalities, schizophrenia, bipolar. These people and their families related to Hulk. You have no idea how many fan letters I get from people who are struggling with these mental illnesses. That's the power of this. And when people identify with the situation you address, they're gratified to see the complexity of their own lives being told and revealed back to them. And it gives them a place in our story, our collective story. They're being recognized. And that's the art of it. And then there's just the platform. I have been in so many beautiful relationships with people that I've met along the way that I can share. I always say, listen, I got a spotlight. I'm going to grab you and put you in it long enough for the world to hear who we really need to hear from. And tonight I have some people from the Solutions Project. I have Brandon and Ina and one of our longtime grassroots grantees. We have all these beautiful grantees, and we listen to them and we follow them. And she's from California, and it's Daryl. And we work together in stopping drilling here in California and cleaning up the pollutions here. And these are the people that I'm in relationship with, so they're here tonight. The compassion and solidarity across generations of frontline communities to the climate crisis offer true stories for the ages. We have teenagers surviving cancer and beating the polluting industries that made them sick nearby in Wilmington. Coalition partners won elected office and public support to secure a $500 million settlement from Chevron Refinery in North Richmond. And just two examples from our grantees could be made into feature films. So when people ask me to use my platform and amplify the issues and voices that Zoe listed, I can't say no. And it doesn't cost me anything. I mean, some people might hate me, but that's okay. I understand that. I could take that for what's good, sure. I'm here with my friend Julia Walsh. She invited me to fight fracking in New York State. So my concern for my family and my concern for clean water led us to banning fracking in New York State, which brought me to Standing Rock, and then the Navajo Nation to protect the sacred, to fight for the spoken history of the Navajo people and their rights here in America. Another partner, Allie Young, is here tonight. And what I'm saying is our relationships, it creates a web if we say yes. And it's a chance for us to demonstrate compassion and practice solidarity. It just never ends as long as you say yes. And it's become one of the most greatest and most important parts of my life. I don't know how I ended up here. I'm like Percival. I'm just like, okay, I'm just a fool, really, truly. But this is how we live. We build power for change, no matter what the circumstances are. Each day, we can be part of that. And we're called always. And I say answer it. Answer the call when it comes. My greatest hope is that we come to understand that we really are in this together, because that is the great reality. That is the lesson of these difficult times. The Lakota people, their most sacred prayer is 2 words, Mitakuye Oyase. Stretching even beyond Ubuntu, it means we are all related. The fish, the 4-legged, the birds, the bird animals, the plants, the trees, the rocks, the stones, the sky, the stars, everything, everyone is blessed. Everyone in this room, all things sacred and related and blessed, everything related. And sadly, that even means those who want to do us harm. We're related to them too. And they're related to us. We're all part of that family. They just gone wrong and forgotten who they are. But they're still part of us. And as difficult as that is to understand, there is a great power and humility in that. Now, everything I'm saying is embraced by the ACLU of Southern California. It is manifested every single day in this organization. Now, we got a lot to face down, all of us collectively. And the ACLU is the front line to protect all that we hold sacred and love. They are the bulwark against the coming darkness on the horizon. There are very few other organizations with so much infrastructure already available directly to address the threats that lay ahead to the most vulnerable people in our communities. And this is who you invest in a time like this. The ACLU of Southern California has provided us with the sense of community and connection tonight that we all desperately needed. I had to drag my ass here. I didn't want to see anybody. And I'm so happy to see you. So, we're here to raise funds for them tonight. And they are the people that they serve the need. They and the people they serve need us more than ever, and we need them the same way. That is what I mean by relationship. We are mutually beneficial to each other. I felt demoralization and despair so many times along the road of all this, and the message that I keep getting is if you're losing hope, you're not giving enough and you're not doing enough. Action is the very thing that pushes back despair. And we give in the ways we can. Some of you will give with your actual bodies. You'll show up on the line. You'll be there. You'll protest. You'll do those things. I've been there with you, and some of you can give by your treasure, your wealth, your blessings. So now's the time to redouble our efforts and our commitment to this ugly fight that looms on the horizon. It's going to be a big one, but put your resources in the frontline communities and organizations so you can take a moment to breathe. That's what ACL is there for. It is money well spent for your peace of mind. So give generously. They need us now more than ever. And we need them now more than ever. So thank you for this honor. Yeah. Let's continue to fight together with compassion, solidarity, and love. Love you.